The 1971 Topps baseball card set is pretty much a love it or hate it proposition. Ever since I can remember, collectors I know think the black borders are either 1, Trey Cool, or 2, an abomination on the order of Pete Rose in a Montreal Expos uniform. And everyone agrees that the black borders make this thing a condition nightmare. What fading and chipping don't take away, a scammer's black magic marker just might. Still, the 1971 Topps is a hobby classic, loaded with Hall of Famers and a couple of big rookie cards, including a Steve Garvey, who won't appear on this list. And with photos on the card backs and a checklist that numbers to a gargantuan 752 cards, nearly everyone can find something to like here, even if they loathe to admit it. All of that adds up to a set with plenty of valuable pieces, which makes pricing out the top money cards a little bit tricky. The black border condition pit throws even more turmoil into the storm. That's why for this list of the 12 most valuable 1971 Topps baseball cards, I've settled on looking at PSA 7 copies. That gets us away from the scarce 8s, the super rare 9s, and the worm's teeth rare 10s, and into territory that we might at least hope to trod sometime during our lifetimes. As for the rankings themselves, those are based on the values listed in the PSA SMR price guide. Now, with our warm-up pitches in the bag, let's play ball. All of the things I said about Munson in my 1970s Topps baseball card video applies here as well. New York Yankees legend, gone way too soon, strong Hall of Fame support to this day. Of course, this card is not the Munson rookie like the 1970s Topps card is. But this one is a bona fide beauty and features one of the great action shots of the 1970s. Its horizontal format is eye-catching, and it's Munson's first standalone card. All of which adds up to a highly desirable hunk of cardboard that typically trades for $200 plus in PSA 7. Clemente is another legend of the game and of the hobby who died much too young. Unlike Munson, though, Clemente is already in the Hall of Fame. This is another great shot of Roberto swinging the lumber in an empty and new Three River Stadium, and it's a semi-high number, so score. Nearly as valuable as the Munson card, this one checks in at around $200 in graded near mint condition. This card was issued a few years before Reggie firmly cemented his legend as Mr. October, but he was already pulverizing baseballs for the Oakland A's when the 1971 Topps cards hit the store shelves. In this one, a kneeling young and muscular Reggie totes a couple of bats on his left shoulder, and you get the idea that he probably could hit 2 home runs at once. This has been a super popular card for decades, and today fetches around $150 in PSA 7 condition. It's no surprise to see a Nolan Ryan pasteboard on the list of the most valuable cards of any given set. And that goes double for an early career issue that shows the Ryan Express with his original team, the New York Mets. It doesn't hurt that the visuals of this one have become somewhat iconic, owing to Ryan exploding out of the Royal Crown sign in the outfield. Like Reggie, the 1991 Topps Nolan card comes in at around $150. Charlie Hustle was right in his prime on this card, standing in his right-handed pose against a gorgeous blue sky and teeming stadium in the background. While Pete has not yet reached the Hall of Fame, his fire and ongoing exile make him a popular target for collectors. This classic card sells for nearly $150 in PSA 7 most of the time. Johnny Bench took a one-year hiatus from winning the National League MVP awards in 1971, just to give mere mortals like Joe Torre a shot at some hardware. That step back was no great heartbreak for collectors, though, as they were treated to a smiling JB against a dream-away blue sky. And besides, he'd get back on the MVP train in 1972. All that hardware, plus the World Series trophies with the Big Red Machine in 1975 and 1976, plus the stunning visuals, leave this $100 card today. Willie Mays enjoyed a bounce back in power, 28 home runs in 1970, and in speed with 23 stolen bases in 1971. Not bad for a guy who was 39 and 40 years old at the time, huh? Sure, the say hey kid faded quickly from that point on, but we still had solid cards like this semi-high number close up to fall back on. Even though Willie isn't smiling here, his card is still a $100 item these days. It took blind living forever and a day to get his due among baseball fans and experts, and he still has detractors even years after his Cooperstown enshrinement. The main knock on blind living is that he was an accumulator rather than a dominant force during his career. But his 20 and 17, 2.52 ERA, 9.7 WAR in 1973 tells a different story. So do his 60 career shutouts, 3,701 strikeouts, and 1.198 WHIP. Regardless of the knocks against him, with everything we stated before and his 287 victories, it all adds up to a rookie card that pushes $100 in PSA 7. When this card made its debut, Brooks Robinson was coming off a 1970s World Series where he pretty much humiliated the Cincinnati Reds with his glove and his bat. After the Baltimore Orioles ran over the Reds in 5 games, B. Robbie was named Series MVP. Of course, he already owned the 1964 American League MVP award and was in the midst of a 15-year run of Gold Gloves at third base. And then Topps dropped this dramatic swinging masterpiece on us. I mean, who could resist Brooks' follow-through with full effort in front of a throng of fans? Hardly anyone, which is why this card is moving towards $100 in PSA 7. Don Baylor was a successful Major League ball player who won the 1997 American League Most Valuable Player. He later became a Major League manager. Dusty Baker was a successful Major League ball player who played at an all-star level for years and then enjoyed a long run as a successful Major League manager. Tom Paciorek was not in Baylor's or Baker's class as a player, but he stuck around for 18 years and is a solid addition to any rookie card. Rookie card? Oh yeah, these guys share a rookie card in the 1971 Topps, and their combined talents, plus being number 700, are enough to push it above $75 most of the time. By 1971, Hank Aaron was staring down the barrel of 600 home runs and showing no signs of slowing down. Dude hit 38 bombs at the age of 36 for the Atlanta Braves in 1970. Another 47 in 1971 made it crystal clear that Henry was coming for Babe Ruth. And of course, the hammer achieved its goal. Aaron's 1971 Topps card is just a simple headshot, but each hunk of Hank cardboard from this era has to be considered a piece of history at this point. And this one is a $70 piece of history. 40-year-old Ernie Banks was trying to find a place to latch onto with the 1971 Chicago Cubs, but the slide in playing time he saw in 1970 only got worse as a new decade plodded on. After 12 homers in 72 games the year before, Mr. Cub managed just 3 in 39 games in 1971 before blowing it out in September. While it would have been nice to have a career capper card, that just wasn't done, at least not in those days. And so we're left with this parting shot of Banks, apparently jawing to a teammate or a photographer, as our last Topps card of the legend. Because of that last card status, this one is popular among high-end collectors and can fetch more than $6,000 in PSA 9. In PSA 7, though, it's much more affordable at $75 or so. Like our video? Then like our video and subscribe to our channel, waxpackgods.com.